Welcome back to the channel Wisdom of Stoicism. Do you ever feel like your life is stuck on repeat? That no matter what you do, nothing changes? You wake up, scroll endlessly, procrastinate on your goals, chase temporary pleasures, and then wonder, why does life feel like a mess? Well, maybe it's not your life that's broken. Maybe it's your habits. And today, we're diving deep into 9 destructive habits that the Stoic philosophers warned us about, habits that could be silently ruining your peace, purpose, and potential. This isn't motivational fluff. It's timeless wisdom from Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, reimagined for your modern life. So if you're ready to stop spinning in circles and start living intentionally, stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to quit and why your life might finally start to change. Habit 1. Chasing external validation. Let me ask you something real. When was the last time you did something purely for you? Not for likes, not for applause, not for your friends, your boss, your family, or your followers. Just for you. Because if you're being honest, most of us are out here living like actors in a play we didn't even audition for. We dress the part, say the right lines, smile for the camera, all while secretly wondering, is this who I really am? And here's the truth no one wants to admit. Your life might feel like a mess, because it's not your life. It's a life built on likes, shaped by expectations, and driven by the silent pressure to look good rather than be real. You see, the Stoics saw this coming 2,000 years ago. Marcus Aurelius said it perfectly. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. Let that sink in. You'll defend your name, your pride, your time, but hand your self-worth to a total stranger on the internet? Crazy, isn't it? And it starts young. In school, you wanted approval from your teachers, then from your parents, then from your friends. Now it's your boss, your followers, your entire self-image shaped by how many people approve of you. But here's the kicker. You could get all the validation in the world and still feel empty inside, because the applause doesn't last. It fades. And when it does, you're right back to chasing it again like a drug. That's not living. That's surviving in a performance. The Stoics believed in one thing above all: character. Who you are when no one's watching. Who you are when you're alone, when the camera's off, when no one's clapping. So, if you're feeling lost, stuck, or anxious, ask yourself, am I living for truth or approval? Because the more you chase validation, the more you abandon your true self. And eventually, you don't even recognize the person in the mirror anymore. You just see a mask. So here's the challenge. Stop chasing likes. Start chasing alignment. Say no when you mean it. Take the risk even if no one claps. Speak your truth, even if your voice shakes. Because the day you stop needing permission to be yourself is the day you finally take your life back. Quit the habit of seeking validation. Respect your own opinion more than the world's noise. And remember, you don't need to be liked by everyone. Just deeply aligned with yourself. Habit 2. Letting your emotions control you. Let's talk about something that quietly ruins a lot of good people: losing control of your emotions. You know exactly what I'm talking about. One moment, everything's fine, and the next, you're yelling, panicking, or shutting down. Someone says something rude, and boom, your entire mood changes. You carry that emotion the whole day, sometimes even the whole week. But here's the truth. When your emotions control you, you lose control of your life. Think about how often this happens. You get offended by a stranger online. You get jealous when you see someone else winning. You get angry when things don't go your way. And every time you react without thinking, your peace is gone. Just like that. The Stoics were very clear about this. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In other words, it's not the world that upsets you. It's your response to the world. And here's the thing, emotional reactivity is a habit. Just like going to the gym or brushing your teeth. It becomes part of your daily behavior if you keep repeating it. But that also means it can be unlearned. Most people, They think emotions are something they have no control over. But Stoicism teaches us the opposite. You don't have to be a slave to your anger. You don't have to drown in anxiety. You don't have to lash out every time someone disrespects you. You can pause, breathe, and choose a different response. Let me tell you something real. Every time you let someone else's words or actions ruin your mood, you give them power over you. And that's not strength. That's weakness. Real strength is calm. It's the ability to hold your peace when everyone else is losing theirs. Imagine how much better your life would be if instead of overreacting, you responded with wisdom. If instead of anger, you chose patience. If instead of anxiety, you grounded yourself in the present. You can't always control what happens, but you can always control how you show up. So if your life feels chaotic, if your mind feels like a storm, maybe it's time to stop letting emotions run the show. The Stoics didn't avoid emotions. They mastered them, and that's exactly what you need to do starting today. Habit 3. Living without purpose. Let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever had a day where you woke up, grabbed your phone, scrolled for an hour, then suddenly it's noon, you're still in bed, and you feel like garbage? Yeah, we've all been there. But here's the thing. When that kind of day becomes normal, that's a sign of something deeper. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're just living without purpose. And that is dangerous. See, a lot of people in the modern world, especially in places like the US, are constantly busy but completely directionless. You're working. You're tired. You're distracted. But at the end of the day, you don't feel fulfilled. Why? Because deep down, you don't know what the hell you're working toward. Now, the Stoic philosopher Seneca said something powerful. He said, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." In simple words, if you don't know where you're going, it doesn't matter how fast you're moving. You'll just end up lost, frustrated, and feeling like your life has no meaning. Let me tell you a short story. There was a guy named Chris, mid-30s, lived in Chicago. He had a good job, decent money, and a bunch of hobbies. But every morning he felt empty, like nothing really mattered. He'd go to work, scroll through Instagram on his breaks, maybe hit the gym if he had the energy, and at night, he'd sit on the couch, watching shows he didn't care about, wondering why life felt so dull. You know what changed everything for Chris? Clarity. He sat down one weekend, turned off all distractions, and asked himself, what kind of man do I want to be? What actually matters to me? What do I want to be remembered for? And when he answered those questions, he started living with intention. He cut out what didn't matter. He stopped saying yes to everything. He created a simple mission for his life. Not some massive goal, just a clear direction. And guess what? The emptiness started to fade. That's what purpose does. It doesn't just give your day meaning. It gives your life power. And the Stoics understood this better than anyone. They believed in living with virtue, with arete, which means being excellent in character, in action, in purpose. Not just drifting around waiting for something to happen. Not chasing dopamine or wasting hours on things that don't feed your soul. So if you're feeling lost, if your life feels like a mess, this might be your problem. Not a lack of motivation. Not bad luck. Just a lack of purpose. And here's the truth. You don't find purpose scrolling on your phone. You find it in silence, in reflection, in asking hard questions, and answering them honestly. So here's what I want you to do after this video. Take 10 minutes. No music, no screens. Just ask yourself, what kind of life do I actually want? And if the answer scares you, good. That means you're finally waking up. Because the moment you stop living by accident and start living with purpose, that's the moment your life starts to change. Habit 4. Comparing yourself to others. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you scrolled through Instagram or TikTok and actually felt better about your life? We all do it. We look at someone's perfect vacation, their perfect body, their 6-figure job, the beautiful house. And in that moment, it's like our own life just doesn't feel good enough. You start thinking, why don't I look like that? Why am I not making that kind of money? Why does my life feel so average? And that's the trap. Comparison. It's one of the sneakiest habits that mess up our peace without us even realizing it. The Stoics warned us about this thousands of years ago. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful men in the world at the time, wrote this in his journal. Don't waste time wondering what a good man should be. Just be one. He wasn't trying to be better than anyone. He was trying to be better than the person he was yesterday. Now think about that for a second. Imagine how much mental space you'd free up if you stopped measuring your life based on someone else's timeline. See, when we compare, we're judging our behind the scenes against someone else's highlight reel. And social media is basically a filtered fantasy. People post their best moments, not their struggles. You don't see the bills they're drowning in. You don't see the arguments behind the smiles. You don't see the nights they cried themselves to sleep. But we compare anyway, and that comparison turns into self-doubt, then jealousy, then resentment, and before you know it, your own life, with all its blessings, starts to feel like it's not enough. But here's what the Stoics believed, and it's powerful. Your only competition is yourself. They taught that every day we should focus on self-improvement, not self-comparison. Because the goal isn't to be better than others. The goal is to be better than who you were yesterday. Let me say that again. Be better than who you were yesterday. So if you want to fix your life, if you want real peace, you've got to quit this habit. Stop comparing. Stop scrolling just to feel worse. Start appreciating. Start building your own version of a good life, not theirs. Because trust me, what you're looking for isn't out there. It's already inside you. You just need to stop looking sideways and start looking forward. Habit 5. Avoiding discomfort. Let's be honest for a second. Most people don't actually hate growth. They just hate what growth requires. And the truth is, growth demands one thing most people run from: discomfort. Let me paint the picture. You set your alarm to wake up early and work out. But when morning comes, your bed is warm, and the world outside feels cold. So you hit snooze. You plan to finally sit down and work on that passion project. But your phone is calling, Netflix is tempting, and suddenly that project gets pushed to tomorrow. Again, you keep choosing what's easy instead of what's right. And that one choice, repeated over and over, is the reason you feel stuck. The Stoics were brutally honest about this. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." In other words, discomfort isn't the enemy. It's the training ground. Here's the hard truth. If your life feels like a mess, it might be because you've built it on comfort. You've made comfort your goal and pain your enemy. But that's the opposite of how real progress works. Think about athletes. They push through sweat, pain, repetition. Think about successful people. They show up when it's boring. They keep going when it's hard. Not because they love pain, but because they've learned to respect it. Discomfort is where discipline lives. It's where confidence is built. It's where transformation starts. So if you avoid discomfort, you're also avoiding the person you could become. Now here's a simple Stoic practice. Choose one uncomfortable thing and do it on purpose. Take a cold shower. Say no when it's easier to say yes. Have the hard conversation. Show up when no one's watching. Train your mind to stop running from hard things. Because every time you lean into discomfort, you're telling your brain, "I'm not fragile. I can handle life." Marcus Aurelius trained himself to expect discomfort. He knew that the universe didn't owe him ease, and neither does life owe you perfect conditions. So if you're tired of feeling like your life is a mess, if you're tired of wondering why things never change, start here. Quit avoiding discomfort. Run toward it. Befriend it. And you'll be shocked at how fast your life starts to shift. Habit 6. Gossiping and complaining. Let's talk about something that almost all of us are guilty of at some point. Gossiping, complaining, vents that turn into rants, conversations that start with, "Did you hear what she said?" Or, "Let me tell you what he did." Feels harmless in the moment, like it brings us closer to people, like it relieves stress. But here's the truth. Gossip and constant complaining don't solve problems. They spread negativity. They drain your energy. And they keep you stuck in the same cycle day after day. You might not even realize it, but when you talk bad about someone behind their back, it changes something in you, chips away at your character. You teach yourself to focus on drama instead of discipline, on blaming instead of building, on problems instead of progress. And when you complain all the time about your job, your relationships, your past, or how unfair life is, you're basically telling yourself you're powerless. You're giving up control. That mindset is the complete opposite of what the Stoics believed. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, didn't waste time whining about life. He faced exile, loss, betrayal, and still chose to keep his dignity. Because the Stoics taught that real strength isn't found in talking about what's wrong. It's found in fixing it, in staying calm, in taking responsibility, in leading by example, not by gossip. Think about the kind of person you respect most in your life. Is it the one who gossips? Is it the one who complains every day? Or is it the one who stays grounded, stays focused, and minds their own business? You want to know why your life feels messy sometimes? It's not just the circumstances. It's the conversations you allow into your life, the ones you listen to, the ones you take part in. You can't grow in a space full of gossip. You can't think clearly when your mind is full of complaints. So here's the challenge. The next time you feel like trash-talking someone, stop. The next time you want to go off about how unfair life is, pause. Ask yourself, is this helping me or holding me back? Because strong people don't need to tear others down to feel better. And wise people don't waste time repeating the same complaints. They rise above it. Cut the gossip. Drop the complaints. Protect your peace. That's what the Stoics did, and that's what you can start doing today. Habit 7. Ignoring the present moment. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually felt present? Not thinking about what happened yesterday, not stressing about tomorrow, but just here, now, in this exact moment. Most people don't even realize it, but they're living life in their heads. They're either stuck replaying the past, the mistakes, the heartbreaks, the regrets, or they're fast-forwarding into the future, worrying about what might go wrong, what people might say, or what failure might show up next. And that's the problem. We're never really where we are. You could be sitting at dinner with your family, but your mind is stuck on that email you forgot to reply to. You could be on a walk in nature, but you're scrolling through drama that doesn't even matter. You could be holding your child in your arms, but mentally you're already in next week's to-do list. That's not living. That's surviving on autopilot. And the Stoics warned us about this exact thing. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, and one of the greatest Stoic minds, said, "Confine yourself to the present." Simple words, but deep wisdom, because the present is all you really own. The past, you can't change it. The future, you can't control it. But right now, you can choose how you respond. You can choose where your attention goes. You can choose to be here, fully awake, fully alive. The truth is, most of your anxiety, your stress, your overthinking, it's not coming from the moment you're in. It's coming from all the imaginary scenarios your brain is running 24/7. So if your life feels like a mess, maybe it's not because your reality is broken. Maybe it's because your attention is scattered. Let me say that again. A scattered mind creates a scattered life. And the solution is not another productivity hack. It's not more caffeine or another app on your phone. It's this: slow down, breathe, look around, feel your feet on the ground. Be here, now. Because peace isn't found in the next achievement, or the next vacation, or the next paycheck. Peace is found in presence. And that's exactly what the Stoics trained themselves to master. Not someday, not eventually, now. So the habit you need to quit ignoring the present moment. Because this moment is your real life. And if you're not living it, what are you even chasing? Habit 8. Letting fear control your life. Let's be honest with each other. How many things in your life have you not done because of fear? You didn't apply for that job because you were scared you'd get rejected. You didn't start that business because you were afraid it might fail. You didn't speak your mind because you were worried about what people might think. And what happened? Nothing. Life stayed exactly the same. But let me ask you something. What if fear is the one thing silently ruining your life every single day? The Stoics had a very different way of thinking about fear. Seneca, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Let that sink in. We suffer more in our heads than we ever do in real life. And isn't that the truth? Think about it. Fear lives in what if. What if I fail? What if they laugh? What if I lose? But the Stoics would flip that question. They'd say, what if you succeed? What if you grow? What if this changes your life? See, fear is a story. That's all it is. It's a story your brain tells to keep you safe. But safety and growth? They don't live in the same house. Here's something you need to understand. The Stoics didn't try to remove fear, they learned to walk through it. They practiced something called premeditatio malorum, imagining the worst-case scenario and preparing their minds to handle it. Not to scare themselves, but to take the fear out of the unknown. So if you're sitting there paralyzed by fear, if you've been playing it safe for months or years, you need to ask yourself this: is fear protecting you, or is it holding you hostage? Because life doesn't wait for you to be ready. Opportunities don't pause for your anxiety to calm down. And time never slows down. Every day you let fear make your decisions. You give up your power, your dreams, your growth. So quit the habit of letting fear decide your life. Quit living small to avoid discomfort. You are capable of more than you believe, but you'll never know until you face what scares you. And listen, fear doesn't disappear when you ignore it. It disappears when you take action anyway. That's what the Stoics did. And that's what you must do if you ever want your life to change. Habit 9. Wasting time. Let's be real for a moment. If you're honest with yourself, how much time did you waste this week? I'm not talking about time spent resting. I'm talking about the hours that slipped through your fingers while you scrolled endlessly on your phone. Open TikTok for just 5 minutes. Or binge-watched a show you didn't even care about. You see, here's the hard truth. Most people don't run out of time. They just waste it. And the Stoics? They were obsessed with time. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." And he's right. Think about it. We act like we have forever, like we can always start tomorrow. But you and I both know, tomorrow is not promised. And yet, we treat our time like it's unlimited. You protect your money. You lock your doors at night. But your time? You give it away to anyone and anything. To distractions, to people who don't value you, to apps that are literally designed to steal your attention. Now listen, I'm not here to guilt trip you. We all waste time. We all have lazy days. That's normal. But if every day is like that, if every day you keep pushing your goals to later, if every day you say, just one more episode, or I'll do it tomorrow, then that's not just a bad habit. That's a lifestyle. And that lifestyle, it leads to regret. The Stoics believed that every single day is a gift, that we should live as if today were our last, not in fear, but with purpose. They weren't obsessed with hustle culture. They didn't believe in being busy just to look productive. No, they believed in being intentional, in doing what matters, spending time with the people you love, working on your craft, living with courage, clarity, and calm. Because here's what they knew. You can always make more money. You can always rebuild your reputation. You can even recover from a mistake. But you can never, ever get back your time. So let me ask you something. If someone gave you $86,400 every single day and told you that whatever you didn't spend would disappear by midnight, what would you do? You'd use it all, right? Well, that's exactly what happens with your time. You get 86,400 seconds every single day. Use them or lose them. So if your life feels like a mess, maybe it's not because you're unlucky. Maybe it's because you're letting time pass you by without truly living it. And the Stoics? They tell you, quit wasting your time on things that don't matter. Stop giving your energy to things that leave you empty. And start showing up for your own life. Because you only get one shot. And trust me, You don't want to look back one day and realize that you were present for everyone else's life, but absent in your own. So now you know, these 9 habits might seem small, even harmless, but they add up. They slowly eat away at your peace, your focus, and your potential. They're the real reason your life feels like it's stuck, like nothing ever changes. But the good news? You can quit them. You can take your power back, one choice, one day, one habit at a time. The Stoics didn't live perfect lives. They faced war, loss, betrayal, but they didn't let it break them. Instead, they built strength from within. And so can you. If this video gave you even one wake-up call, don't just click away and forget it. Do something. Take action. Pick one habit. Just one. And decide right now that you're done with it. No more excuses. And hey, if you found this helpful, if you want more content like this, do me a favor, hit the like button. It lets YouTube know this message is worth spreading. Drop a comment below and tell me, which habit are you quitting today? I read every comment, and I'd love to hear your story. And if you're serious about becoming better, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, then hit that subscribe button. This channel is here for you, for people who are tired of being average. For people who want to live with wisdom, discipline, and real purpose. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to start today. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. I'll see you in the next one. And until then, stay strong, stay focused, and stay grounded.